Let me once again welcome you to my class and welcome you to this semester. You might be hearing this many semesters after I'm recording it because I hope I'm going to record this once for many uses. What I'm recording now is a video to explain the course schedule. Now, I'm not going to give particulars about the course that you're taking, but rather I'm giving this one video to explain to you where to find the course schedule, how to use the course schedule. So here's an example. You're looking at the screen at a course that I'm teaching this semester. We're in the fall of 2021, and it's Philosophy 6600, Criminal Justice Ethics, but this applies to all of my courses. So the first thing for you to know is if you're trying to find out when things are due in the course, at the beginning of the semester, I put up information. And you should have watched the video or the welcome video where I explain to you how the course is organized, and you're doing that in the first week, or you will be doing it, but in case you're here before that. But if you go into, you'll see on this menu on the side of your screen, start here, which is where we are, course, which I just leave course announcements. You can't even see course announcements. I should have made this look a little bit more like the way in fact, that's the way it looks to me, but I'm in student preview mode. This is the way it'll look to you. But where to find the course schedule is in the course information section. Okay, so course information, and you see right at the top of course information, because that's where we are now, is a syllabus. And now you'll see the Criminal Justice Ethics schedule. That is the course schedule. And now I'm just going to pop over, now that you know where to find it, I'm going to pop over to my Adobe Acrobat, where I think I'm displaying a bunch of these. Let me hope I can find them again. Yes, there it is. Okay, and let's take a look at the way, and this is a typical schedule. I'm teaching 4 courses this semester, kind of a typical load for me. So I give you an idea where, I'm going to give you an idea how different ones look, and I'll give you an idea what to expect. Well, I'm trying to make this easy for everybody. So what I'm trying to do in general, and I'll continue to do this, is try to arrange it so that we pick one day a week when all of the assignments for a given week are due. That is, the written assignments need to be done. If you need to read something, you ought to be reading it before that. And I'm going to, in addition to which, I have kind of 2 dates for each week. One date in which the assignments are due. Now, sometimes the assignment's going to involve you're doing a discussion. And this doesn't matter if it's an in-class course or if it's an online course, because you'll be writing things in class, but I'm also still going to ask you to put them in Blackboard so your classmates can comment on it. And many of you don't speak in the class when we're in class, but I want you to have the opportunity to put your work in writing and review it later on. So you'll know for each week there are going to be weekly assignments, and then for the discussions that I've just mentioned, the next or a few days later, because I have to give you a few days later for everybody to post it, for people who take it online, to be able to come back, read what everybody's posted, because I also ask you typically to comment on, and I think you should get in a habit, even with your introduction, get into a habit of commenting on other people's introduction, maybe asking them for an email address, trying to develop, if it's an online course, trying to develop a relationship with other students, because it's just going to help you in the course. Okay, but I wanted to take a look at, and this is the way the schedules look in general for the courses. Notice we have, and this is, we're in September, I should put my glasses on. September 9th, classes begin. Okay, 9th and 10th. You're going to see, and what you'll see on the schedule also, days when there are no classes. In fact, this is we're in the fall semester and typically run into the Jewish holidays, high holidays, and the CUNY at this point still, and I hope they continue for the future, tries to not have classes for major religious holidays, these being the major religious holidays. So we're coming up, well, actually, this year the high holidays started before the semester, but next week we're going to have 2 classes because Yom Kippur comes up. But notice I made the classes start on September 9th. I made the assignments due the following Thursday, which is quite, and for some reason I didn't manage to capture, I had numbers 1 through 12 because the semester typically is 12 weeks. If you're watching this in a summer course, your semester is only 6 weeks. So each week on this schedule would be 2 weeks in a summer course, which is 6 weeks long as opposed to 12 weeks that are normal, that are, if I should say, fall and spring semesters are. Our winter and summer modules, the summer and winter, are only 6 weeks long. Okay, so here we are, and I tried to really make it simple because if you're going to see, everything's either due on a Thursday or and on a Monday. So if you come down, and in fact, now if you're getting on this and this is your first week in the class, you got work to do. And class begins, Thursday, and if you don't have class meetings, and this is an online, as they call it, asynchronous online, that we don't have any class meeting schedule, you're going to have to start doing work. So get in there beforehand, even better. On September 9th, that's the starting gun. It's like a race around the track. The starting gun started. So get started. There's going to be stuff to do. And notice I made this stuff due Thursday, the 1 week from the day that classes begin. That is, you have to have your first answer in. And I did this to kind of normalize it. So all the assignments will be due either Monday and Thursday to make life a little bit easier for you, that you don't have to keep checking the schedule. Okay, so you'll see that assignment's due, but it's on a day that we have no classes. Now here's the problem. The Jewish students who observe the whole course will be worried, how can I get this in on a day like this? If you get it in to me Friday, that's going to count. I'm not going to, the first week of class, I'm kind of pretty tolerant about whether you're getting in the assignments a little bit late, although I'm always worried because if you're starting the first week of class, you're getting things in late. You're not starting yourself on the right foot during the semester because usually my observation in 80-90% of the cases, you are more diligent in the first week of class than you are in the 12th week of class. Things seem to back up at that point. Okay, so we have that. So you can get, it's really due on Thursday, but you're not going to get marked late if you do on Friday because there's no school. The same thing is going to happen. This is a fall semester, so if you look down, it ends up that, here I am. College is closed. This is for Thanksgiving in November, and I still have it due the same date. In that case, you can always do it a day early and get it in on time. But I set up the schedule so that you can put your initial postings on discussions at a certain date. They'll be due, and then you'll come back at another date and you will write your comments on 2 to 3 or however many that semester I'm telling you need to do, classmates' comments. And oftentimes, don't be surprised if you don't see comments from me on your work, because oftentimes I do read it all, but I have I usually record videos giving you some general feedback about what things you did right, what things are wrong, and what the correct answers are. So from the fact that you wrote an answer, don't think that you're going to write the same thing on that you're definitely going to write the same thing on an exam, on an essay, on an exam, and you're going to get the correct answer, because if you got it wrong in the first place, the standards only go up from your initial postings. Okay, so there you get it. You get it on Thursday, and then for Monday, it's due Monday, so you should probably look at it Sunday. You can do it Monday morning. I don't get up at 9 a.m. to read these things. If it's there when I start grading, it's on time. But you're taking a chance, so Sunday night's a good time to get it in. If it's due on Monday, I'm talking about Monday morning at about 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. As I let people get a little bit late, make sure they post it. Okay, so that's where it goes. I'll also have these dates. You're going to see, here are some names of Jewish holidays that I happen to observe, but I'm just letting you know, I'm leaving them on the calendar to let you know that if you're trying to contact me on those dates, you're not going to be able to contact me. So if in that case, just please be sensitive in the same way that I'm sensitive to students who are observing their religious holidays. That I try to stay away from discussing things with them at that point or expecting an answer from them then. You can send me an email during the holidays, but keep in mind, if you send me, for instance, on September 21st, first thing in the morning, if you send me an email, you are not going to get a response to it until Thursday at the earliest. So don't expect. So if it's something else, you're going to have to find some other way of getting your question answered. And if it's not, just give the best answer you can, and we'll get back together. You're not going to be penalized in cases like that, so don't worry about it. You will, in the long run, get penalized for habitually, let's put it this way, consistently handing in things late. So on this particular calendar, you're going to see that not only do I have the weekly assignments, as you can go through week by week. I'm going to take a look so I can put my glasses on so I can read this. October for week 3 response. Now we have week 4 assignments due. Week 4 responses are due Monday, even though the college is closed. That's probably Columbus Day. If it gets there the next day on something like that, not going to be a big issue because I'm probably, when the college is closed, I'm not going to start grading things and mark you late when it's due on a day of college close. Assignment week 5, you see response to discussions. And sometimes I wasn't very careful, but sometimes I don't give you discussions. If it's a week that we don't have any discussions, then the week 5 responses are easy to get in on time. There are none. Right? You figured that out. Great. Now, one thing you're going to notice, we're down here, week 7, response to discussions due. Okay. And notice over there are week 8 discussions. There's a reason for that. This is going to be the week in which I do a review for your midterm, and I give you to do the midterm exam, which will be due on a Monday. So you'll have a whole work weekend. And right now, you know that the midterm exam is going to come up. A multiple choice midterm is going to come up, and it's going to be there on the 8th of November. It's going to be due on the 8th of November, which means you'll see it a lot earlier. But usually, and just for your information, when I do have these reviews and the video reviews, I take them off before I post the test, because the test is not the occasion for you to start learning. The idea is I put up a review for you to have a chance to review the material, and then everybody's on an equal footing in the class. If they don't have access to the review video, then they're going to have to answer that. They're going to have to take the test. Most of the tests that I give will be like that, multiple choice tests online. It's something that we've, thanks to the pandemic, the famous, very famous pandemic now, all students seem to be adept at dealing with Blackboard. Okay. And, you could see, oh God, well, it looks like I blew something because I don't have the second page, and there should be, notice final exam start here. You should know that the final exam in this course is going to be due. I'm going to have to put a new PDF up because I obviously missed the last week. The final exam, you're going to have to finish the review and get the exam done by the 13th of December. That's going to be the day of the final. You know that. If you're in an online course or this online course, you know that's where it is today. One thing I just want to mention, 6 weeks is the middle of the semester. Usually I want you to learn some stuff, and it's a pretty difficult for our students. I should say pretty. Some students have difficulty really learning, or they don't feel comfortable doing things in philosophy or answering questions in philosophy. So I usually make my midterms either in the 8th week, either the 7th week or the 8th week. Actually, it's due, for instance, you see, is in the 7th week in this class. It's due after the 8th week. So that's a little bit after the midterm, which I think it gives you more time to get acclimated, because I find in philosophy classes, it takes 7 or 8 weeks till all of a sudden you get this, if you're doing the work all along, all of a sudden you've been wondering, what's going on? I don't understand this. I don't understand this. And some other people I know are having problems with this. And all of a sudden you find at about somewhere between week 6 and 8, all of a sudden things start to click. So I want to give you a little bit more time. And typically in my applied ethics courses, you're going to see the schedule will be identical. Philosophy 66 is criminal justice ethics. Philosophy 68, you're going to see, I just pulled it over. This is the last time, but you'll notice same date. The multiple choice midterm and the midterm essay are due the 8th of November, which means you're going to be doing it in your 8th week of the course. Okay? Same thing is going to be true. Well, let me skip to this. This course is Introduction to Ethics, but I find the Introduction to Ethics, I'm ready to give it a week earlier. So but it's after you've completed the 6 weeks. So in the 7th week, we'll have a review, and we'll have a midterm multiple choice part, and then there'll be an essay. The essay will be assigned a lot earlier, so you'll have plenty of time to work on that. And here, let me see if it looks like my PDF all over does not have the final on it, so I'm going to have to repost this thing for everybody. Sorry about that. This semester. If you're in a later semester and you're watching this again, great. You're going to have it on the one that's sitting in there. One thing I did want to mention, writing intensive courses. For this year, what I'm requiring for a writing intensive course is you have to do one paper. You have to hand in, there's going to be a smaller paper assignment, which is going to be your initial paper, or what I call the first step. You might see it over here. I'm trying to hold the cursor over. Paper number 1, first step is going to be due, and that's the 1st of November. That's when the midterm essay would be due if it wasn't a writing intensive course. And then based on that, you're going to add more information after learning some more stuff, and the paper is ultimately going to be due, let me see, on the 20th. Okay, so it's several weeks later after you've learned some stuff, and the assignment's going to be expanded, but you're going to be building on what you've written that first step. And if you made a mistake in the first step, I spent time giving you a lot of comments to understand how you could do, or give you suggestions as to how you could do better in the class. So that's the difference between what goes on in a writing intensive, and the other thing you'll see in a writing intensive is instead of a midterm essay being due, this semester I've decided to try, or for the second time, just giving one paper required and another one as an option to maybe cover your bets a little bit more if you're interested in it. And that's going to be on this semester. It's going to be on December 13th during the final exam week, which I cut off from this particular PDF file. But that's when your that's when your paper number 2, if you're doing that, if you have an optional paper, or if you're doing an honors, an honors project, that's when it's going to be due. Honors project, I might give you a few more days if you need it. But talk to me about that, because that's kind of a special sort of thing that we'll have to talk about some other time. So that's about the way the schedule is going to run. Get started. Don't procrastinate. Keep up with the work. The people who usually do well in the course are the people who keep up with the work. Some people start and then they give up, they kind of drop off on how diligently they are following the deadlines. That is a big mistake. It's a huge mistake in general in education, and it's a bigger mistake in a philosophy course, because what you learn later builds on what you learn earlier in the course. So try to keep up and try to keep moving along as you're going through. Good luck in the semester, and I'm hoping to, we'll be speaking, if it's online, via our discussion boards, or, or set up an appointment, and we'll have an office hour. If you're having problems, I'm happy to talk to you. Good luck during the semester. Take care.